Vegeta and his band of pirates have scoured the galaxy to face powerful foes and gain power to face off against son Gohan, the son of Kakarot, and take over planet Vegeta to get his son, Trunks, back. If you'd like to support the channel, then be sure to check out our Patreon. Link is in the description. A year after escaping the Galactic Prison, the gang continues to avoid the patrollers, though they have lost some along the way. Vegeta managed to retreat with Moro, 7-3, and many others to planet Yardrat, where he sought shelter. The Yardrats saw good within the prince and invited them to rest. Vegeta was smart and knew how to handle beings like this. After all, he had been on Earth dealing with fools for such a long time. As Moro hit his key, he was going to tell Vegeta telepathically to play dumb, act as if they were mere nomads. Perhaps they could learn something from the Yardrat. However, before he could even speak, Vegeta was already saying as he wanted. Pibara invited Vegeta to train, and he slowly developed skills. However, his troubled heart did not allow him to complete his training. Rather, he only learned instant transmission. Pibara felt that there was something wrong, as there was darkness within Vegeta, but his judgment was clouded. In reality, Moro was manipulating everyone behind the scenes, using whatever limited magic he had to cloud the key sensing of all the Yardrat. One of the nights, the gang remained in Yardrat. Sagambo was tired of pretending that he was a little lapdog for Vegeta. While the Yardrat led them to their beds, he lashed out, attacking one of them. This spiraled into a small battle, one which Moro had to stop, while Vegeta put Sagambo in a headlock. Pibara had no choice but to kick the gang out, but not before asking Vegeta to reconsider his future actions. Pibara had sensed darkness within Vegeta, but there was also light. Without another word, Vegeta and his gang retreated from Yardrat. Sagambo yelled at Vegeta, telling him that they should have taken over the planet. Without even looking at him, Vegeta slapped Sagambo across the ship and into a wall. He would not have his actions doubted, but it didn't matter. He had learned enough. Their next destination was Earth. In the meantime, Gohan confronted Bulma at Capsule Corp. He questioned her about where Vegeta was, but in reality, he already had his suspicions. Vegeta's key had disappeared from Earth. Perhaps he had gone on another training mission like before the androids arrived. But Bulma didn't have the heart to tell Gohan what happened. She hurt from it too. Bulma finally looked at Gohan and told him that Vegeta would not be returning. He had caused them all too much pain. It was because of him that her best friend, his father, had died. Gohan was speechless and saddened. He looked at the ground and said, "You know, Bulma, I used to blame myself for my father's death too. Perhaps we should both start blaming Cell rather than those who fought for Earth. I'll see you at the tournament." With that, Gohan left Capsule Corp. A tournament would soon go down where Gohan, Yamcha, Tien, Krillin, and even future Trunks, who had returned from the future to the past in order to update everyone on the defeat of future Cell, would participate. Unlike Movie 9, where Bojack attacked the tournament goes rather smoothly. Trunks, Gohan, and Krillin get to the end of the tournament, but all feel uneasy as the key seems to slowly creep through the tournament. In reality, from atop of a clock tower, a warrior watches the tournament go down, awaiting for the time where the powerful warriors would arrive. First, Iwaza, one of 3 female warriors from Vegeta's gang of pirates, encounters Krillin in a lava-like area. Then, 7-3 attacked future Trunks in a grassy plain. Finally, Sagambo ambushed Gohan as he made his way through a playhouse-like zone. This sudden attack was assumed to be part of the tournament, but there was no way. They were so powerful. In a matter of minutes, Krillin was thrown to a wall and into a city-like area where he lay defeated. Next, Trunks had his powers taken by 7-3, who glowed like a Super Saiyan as he crushed Trunks into the clock tower. Gohan was the only one to be keeping up against the fighters, as Sagambo was only slightly pushing him back. But Gohan was an experienced martial artist, and he wasn't going to let himself be defeated by a brute. Gohan burst into Super Saiyan for a split second to make Sagambo back off. He seemed to recognize that form as he gritted his teeth. Not only was Vegeta making them fight a kid, but he was a Super Saiyan as well. This must be the one he was after, but that was ridiculous. Why was Vegeta beefing with a 12-year-old? 7-3 dragged Trunks by the hair and threw him onto Gohan. The half Saiyans stood side by side, charging up a powerful double Masenko that sent their enemies flying away. but as the smoke dissipated, more enemies revealed themselves. They were all charging up a blast and fired at the duo, but the attack never hit them, as a caved figure expanded his aura and blasted them away. Piccolo. He asked just who the hell they were. That's when Vegeta, wearing his old Saiyan attire, descended down from atop a clock tower and in front of the Z fighters.
Hey kids, don't go away. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, I hope you're enjoying the video thus far. If you like this sort of content, want to see more, and support the channel, then consider becoming a Patreon. There, you can help support the channel through various tiers while getting some perks of your own. As a Patreon, you will be helping improve the videos, get them out faster, fund the awesome thumbnails, editing, and much more. Overall, this is the best way to ensure that I can keep providing you guys with awesome Dragon Ball content. Plus, you get some neat perks, like an extra discussion video every other week, early access to videos such as this one, and behind-the-scenes content. So be sure to go to patreon.com/SmugStick and consider supporting the channel. Thank you to all the current patrons for your support, and let's get back into the story.
And now back to our show.
Gohan and Trunks couldn't believe it. Vegeta was disappointed that Trunks was having such a hard time. If he was still training, he would have mopped the floor with Sagambo. Vegeta declared that he was only there to get his son and battle against Gohan. Piccolo screamed out that he would not allow him to touch Gohan, rushing in to punch Vegeta in the face. But Vegeta simply burst into Super Saiyan 2, grabbing his fist and lifting Piccolo up. Gohan took a single step back. This wasn't possible. How? That's right, kid. Watch closely. I too have achieved the power of your Super Saiyan beyond, or I guess you could call this Super Saiyan 2. The battle erupted where Trunks was the first to rush in at Vegeta, telling his father to stop what he was doing, that he was just proving his mother right. But Vegeta refused to listen, saying that he had been betrayed not only by Bulma, but by future Trunks too, if he's trying to stop him from getting his present self. Didn't he remember the promise they made? Vegeta had promised to future Trunks after the Cell games that he would protect and train his present self, make him become stronger, and be there for him. Deep down, Vegeta was hurt. Why hasn't anyone looked for him? Why didn't anyone stop Bulma? Everything he had changed for was for nothing. From the audience, Bulma was in complete shock. She was shaking as she held Kid Trunks, as Yamcha asked her what the hell she did. Without a word, Bulma gave Trunks to Chi-Chi and Yamcha, telling them to run to Capsule Corp and hide him. She would try to talk to Vegeta. Back in the battle, Moro watched from afar, smiling as he sensed everyone's power. Unknown to them, he was slowly draining their energy from the battle, even Vegeta's. But not too much. After all, their power wasn't impressive enough just yet. He was just taking enough to get some of his magic back. Trunks and Vegeta blasted at each other, with Trunks quickly losing the beam struggle. Gohan stepped in front of his friend, telling him to tag out. Gohan screamed out, but he couldn't reach the levels he did when he was fighting Cell. The anger he felt wasn't there. This was Vegeta after all. He helped them defeat Cell. This was his friend. But Vegeta's power was incredible, even more so than Cell's. Gohan had to step it up a notch, as Trunks, Piccolo, Krillin, and even Tien battled Vegeta's men, though he ordered them not to kill them. Vegeta was getting angry, telling Gohan to explode to show him his true power. Doesn't he want to save Earth? Vegeta knew that just like with Cell, he had to take drastic measures to make Gohan's true power shown. For that, he rushed away from Gohan as he tried to reason with Vegeta, and he focused instead on Piccolo. He commented on how it was surprising that they had never fought before, as he started to pummel Piccolo. The Namekian put up a fight, but it was only a matter of time until Vegeta was holding him by the collar. Gohan screamed at Vegeta to let him go, but Vegeta was relentless. It seems like Gohan was finally going to explode when Bulma's voice rang out and made Vegeta turn his head, dropping Piccolo. Bulma yelled at Vegeta to stand down, saying that this is exactly what she was worried about, but it's not too late. He can stop this right now and talk about things. Vegeta rushed to face Bulma, telling her that what he felt for her was real, but that she betrayed him. Whatever they had together, it was over. Vegeta turned, sad, walking away. He didn't even want to fight anymore. But Bulma continued to yell at Vegeta, telling him that she was right after all. He hadn't changed since their first meeting. The others tried to get her to shut up, but she kept going, until she screamed out that it's his fault that Goku was dead. Vegeta dropped his attacks, making his hand into a fist, lamenting the death of his greatest rival. He said that Goku was a true warrior who died for his planet. Vegeta would have liked to have done the same. He was saddened to have to give that up. Now there is no one worthy of fighting him, no one to carry his legacy or power. Vegeta's words touched Trunks deeply, knowing that his father really was a good person. But he was hurt. He thought back to his own timeline, how he had always lamented never knowing his father. And here, right in front of him, was his dad in despair. He needed to help him. At the same time, Gohan perked up at the sound of his father's name. Gohan was the first to take a step forward, followed by Trunks. "You forget, Vegeta. I'm my father's son!" The two's aura sparked up into a flare as they both reached Super Saiyan 2. Vegeta's eyes widened with surprise and pride over the two kids. The battle resumed, with Vegeta largely on the defensive. Vegeta was much more experienced and knew how to evade many of the anger-filled attacks, but he was getting overwhelmed by the team-up. He had to get rid of one or the other. Vegeta wanted to battle his son, but defeating Kakarot's legacy was even more important. But just as he was about to attack Trunks, they were both grabbed from behind by Sagambo and 7-3. Vegeta yelled at them to let them go, that this was his fight, but Gohan and Vegeta were already sparking up their auras, pushing them back. Not wasting any time to continue the fight, they were very in sync. After all, Trunks was trained by Gohan. Super Saiyan 2 Gohan and Trunks battled Vegeta. Vegeta couldn't handle both of them together. The boys launched a flurry of blows at the same time, and while getting pummeled from all directions, Vegeta swears that he can see a third person behind the boys, punching and kicking alongside them. Through the storm of fist, Vegeta's eyes widened as he swears he sees Goku standing behind Gohan and Trunks. Vegeta sees Goku preparing a gut punch. When it connects, Vegeta makes out that it was Gohan and Trunks who landed the hit. The impact of the twins' soaring dragon fist nearly caused Vegeta to faint, coughing up blood. But he smiles, stating that Kakarot's spirit lives on after all in the next generation. However, he refused to lose to Kakarot again, no matter what shape or form he may take. Vegeta roars, breaking his limits as the entire planet shakes. A typhoon of ki swirls around the prince as the various zones within the intergalactic world tournament start to crumble. Lightning smites the clock tower as it strikes midnight, its rings echoing the battlefield before being engulfed in flames. Nearby, Moro looks in malicious glee. He was right to let Vegeta live. His righteous anger would give him a feast unlike any other. The former Galactic Patrol prisoners, such as Sagambo, look on in a mixture of amusement and fear, while 7-3 observed quietly. Vegeta roars continue as a whirlwind of ki around him intensifies, his hair growing longer and longer. When the scream stops, Gohan and Trunks can't believe what they're seeing. Vegeta had gone further beyond to what they thought was never possible, transforming into a Super Saiyan 3. Vegeta looks at the boys in a cold glare, getting into the battle stance as he tells them to prepare themselves. Despite their best efforts and coordination, Vegeta is vastly overpowered by the pair. As the battle reaches the apex, Gohan and Trunks stand back to back, charging one final attack. Vegeta stretched out his hand, electricity crackling over his arm. He yells out to the boys, demanding they show him their resolve. Did they really want him to destroy the planet? Gohan and Trunks fired a double Kamehameha, and Vegeta launched his final flash. The beams clashed in the middle as the town surrounding collapsed from the immense pressure. The blue beam seems to start pushing Vegeta's back, shocking everyone. Gohan yells at Trunks to keep going. Vegeta is astonished to what's happening. Was he still not enough, or are the boys that strong? However, his focus shifts from the boys to the orange gi he sees behind them. There was a man with golden hair performing his own Kamehameha. It was Goku in Super Saiyan 3. Vegeta's veins throb violently as his rage explodes one last time. Kakarot! Vegeta's eyes wide out as his ki expands, the final flash engulfing the Kamehameha before exploding. The spectators run away in fear as the entire town is razed to the ground. Gohan and Trunks lay on the ground, battered and broken. Kakarot was nowhere to be found. Vegeta frowned silently. Was it all in his head? Did he only imagine Kakarot there? He didn't know. He didn't care. All he knew was that Kakarot had achieved Super Saiyan 3 before he did, but for now he had won. He finally beat Kakarot by defeating his legacy. Vegeta powers down and approaches the terrified Z-Fighters and Bulma nearby. Vegeta demands to know where baby Trunks is, but Bulma yells out that he'll never find him. However, Moro appears behind Vegeta, his hand reaching under his cloak, saying,
Is that right?
From the darkness in his cloak, Moro hands over the infant to his captain. It was easy with magic to find where he was. Bulma cries out in desperation as Vegeta smiles with intense satisfaction. Vegeta tells Bulma she should not be afraid. He will raise little Trunks to be a true Saiyan, to carry on the legacy and pride of his people. Bulma begs Vegeta not to do this, but the pleas fall on deaf ears. While looking at the wounded future Trunks, Vegeta says that he can't do that. He has a promise to keep. The prince orders his crew to prepare the ship. They're going to leave. He has nothing left to prove to anyone, not these Earthlings, and more importantly, not to himself. Without another word, Vegeta turns away to board the ship. As Bulma's cries of intense torment fill the air, the rogue prince and his crew leave behind planet Earth. But Trunks, with the last bit of his strength, fires a ki blast at Moro. This actually hurts the magician, who turns back looking in anger. The potential within that halfling was incredible. Trunks said, "No matter what, father, I'll find you. I promise you that. And I'll bring you both back to Earth. You have a family to take care of over here, not with those criminals. And especially, not with that monster. Whatever he did to you, whatever he promised you, I'll defeat him and bring you back." Moro's eyes widened, but then a smirk formed on his lips. Two incredible Saiyans to draw the energy from. Moro nodded at Trunks as he continued onto the ship. Vegeta did a double take. For a second, he thought about stepping off of the ship, but it was too late. Moro asks what the next course of action is, as Vegeta looks at the little Trunks in his arms. He smiles, declaring that it's time to create their own legacies. Thank you for watching, everyone. That was part 2 of What If Vegeta Was Betrayed by Bulma. Already, I think this story is a little darker than Goku Betrayed, but you guys let me know in the comments what you think. Personally, I think it's an interesting take on the usual pirate Vegeta type of thing that I do. Huge thank you to What If Universe for editing this video, and Professor Chimp for helping write it. I'm recording this a few weeks ahead of time, so if I haven't said your name and you've become a Patreon, then I'm so sorry. I'll be sure to catch up as soon as I'm back home. Currently, I'm traveling around a little bit. Shout out to my Patreons: Jesse Williams, D. Miles, The Gaming Galaxy, Dakota Kaiser, Salil Paranjape, Keith Grimes, Jordan Dowes, Thayer45, Celestia, Tyler Sparling, Robot, Ethan, Legone, Dreadpool, Phil J. Akir, The Baked Potato, Bartek, and Samuel Randall. Thank you guys for your support as we transition into Patreon. Anyways, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and until we meet again. See ya!